what a gift it is to have an adult who is choosing to spend time with them, but they quickly understand that importance. The children we work with don't often know what's happening behind the scenes, and we prefer that. We don't want them to know that. We want them to focus on being a child. They mostly just realize that their family is facing challenging times, and the anxiety and the desperation that this can bring can often overwhelm the youth that we work with. A CASA volunteer's job is to know the child, to know the children, to know that family, and to gather as much information as they can from everyone involved in that child's life and bring it back to the courts so our judges can make informed decisions about the future for that child and that family. CASA volunteers monitor court-ordered treatment plans, and they make recommendations to the court as to what they believe to be in that child's best interest. Today we are joined by a handful of our superheroes, our amazing CASA volunteers who are dedicating their time for a child in need in our community. We simply cannot thank them enough for making such an incredible commitment to the children that we serve, and we'd like to have them stand now and be recognized at this time. CASA volunteers, please stand. Them several times a month to ensure their needs are being met, to gather as much information as possible, to bring light to their situation to the courts. So when you hear our tagline, change a child's story, you can start to imagine how important that is to a child. And thanks to our continued growth, we have some exciting plans in the works to do even more for children and families in our communities, but more on that at another time, and we'll make some announcements when we get closer. Oftentimes our youth move from foster home to foster home. As I'm sure you can imagine, there's not a lot of resources here in the Valley as far as foster care providers. Oftentimes our volunteers are driving hours and hours to see their assigned children that are placed in communities in all four corners of the state. They experience professionals who are in and out of their lives, all with just in a few years of being in foster care. Sometimes these youth are placed with their siblings, and sometimes they're separated, which creates a level of anxiety that can have devastating effects. It takes a lot of care and a lot of understanding to ensure that our youth in this community have a voice and someone who is there to focus on them and their needs, working to ensure that each child is in a safe and permanent home. Well, the best outcome for a CASA child is to be back at home with their family because their family was able to make positive changes to keep them safe. Not all children are fortunate enough to be reunited with their family, and these stories can be the most tragic. If you've joined us at this lunch before, then you know we always try to come up with a video that helps us convey the work from what we do at CASA. And we were excited to once again produce our own video with the help of our friends at Goal Academy, who met with several of our volunteers, and they put together a video that we'd like to share with you now to tell our story. Let's take a watch. You have maybe an unusual opportunity to hear three different perspectives about how three lives were impacted and changed, and you can see how far-reaching our simple mission to advocate for abused and neglected children can have in multiple ways. But I'll let each of them tell you from their perspective, their story, again, from their eyes.